The student will log onto their student portal. They will click on the Current Students tab and then the e-assessment information page. Students will then navigate to the practice papers on e-assessment. At the end of this page is the link to the CEARS platform. In order to access the practice paper exams, the students will need to enter their username, which is their student email address, as per their student portal, and their password, which is their student number. Students will have 2 practice papers for the ARF interim assessment, with 1 attempt at each paper. Once a student logs in and starts the assessment, this is counted as an attempt, even if no questions are answered. Once logged on to the CEARS platform, the list of practice papers available will be displayed. Once the Start Test button is clicked, the introduction page for the exam will appear. The introduction page will include the amount of allotted time for the exam. Student must answer all parts for the FAE ARF interim assessment. An answer template is provided for all questions for the FAE ARF interim assessment. The answer template should be copied and form part of your answer. This template is found in the section text of each question. The suggested completion time for each part is also shown in the introduction page. If students do not complete their exam within the allotted time, their script will automatically be submitted. The students will then need to scroll to the end of the introduction page and click on the green Start Assessment button. The exam time will only begin once the button has been clicked. The left side of the screen contains the section or part's narrative. The right side of the screen shows the question. For each section, students can expand either the section introduction box or the question box by moving the mouse in the following way. Students can also click the arrow for the text box to pop out, giving the student the full screen view with answer box. The text can either be increased or decreased by using the A+ or A- button found at the top right of the screen. Students can flag a question. If they are unsure of their answer, they can highlight the question to remind them to return to that particular question. The student will need to click the flag button again in order to remove the flag. The Overview button can show the student the overall questions answered and which questions have been flagged. This is located at the bottom part of the screen. Students can skip to different parts of the exam. They can easily navigate through the questions without having to continuously click the next button. Students will need to click the Resource button to view the appendices where required. The resources for the FAE ARF interim assessment contains the complete exam paper. For the ARF interim assessment, students can keep the resources open continuously throughout the exam when answering questions. Resources can be maximized to full screen view by clicking the Maximize Screen icon. As stated in the introduction page, students will be provided with an answer template in the section text of each question. These templates must be copied into the text box to complete the answer. The table template will need to be copied to the answer text box first before beginning to answer questions. Hover over the table and a copy button will appear. Click the copy button and the table will highlight blue. Then right-click on the answer box and click Paste and the table will be copied across to the answer text box. Students can click the arrow to pop out the section text box and then maximize the answer box to full screen when entering their answers. Alternatively, for the FAER interim assessments, students can keep the resources open and then maximize the answer text box to full screen while answering the question. Students must copy the table template over to the answer text box before maximizing the screen. Students will be required to complete a journal entry as shown here in question 1. Students should show their workings in the following way. First, click the arrow at the end of the table template in order to insert text below the table. Students may be required to complete a disclosure. Once again, students will need to copy the table template from the section text to the answer box before answering the question. Students can show their working in the following way. Once again, click the arrow at the end of the table template in order to insert text below the table. Students are reminded the resources for the ARF interim assessment contains the overall exam paper and can be viewed at any stage during the exam. Once a student wishes to complete the exam, they will need to click the Complete Assessment button. This is found at the bottom right part of the screen. If a student runs out of time, the exam will automatically be submitted. 2 notification pop-up boxes will then appear. The student will need to click Confirm and then Finish. Students will then need to click the Next button to view their script answers. This is only available for practice papers and not the live exams. No scripts are marked for practice papers, so the student's score will show as 0. Students will need to compare their answers to the suggested solutions on the Chartered Accountants Ireland website. Students will need to first click the Results tab to show all questions and students' answers. Students will then need to scroll down through each question and click the Show More button. This will show the student's answer. Students will then right-click on their mouse, click Print. There, students can either print or save their exam script to PDF. This is the only time students can print off or save their answers. Once this window is exited, the script cannot be retrieved. This PDF or printout can then be used to compare to the suggested solutions. The Institute will be keeping the e-assessment resource pack up to date. Please remember to check this page for any further information.